What's going on, people? It's your boy Mr. Mo, the producer, and welcome back to my channel, Mr. Mo on the Beat. Thank you for joining me again for another video. I thank you for the love, the likes, the support, the shares, the subscribing. Make sure you like this video, make sure you share it, subscribe, click the bell so that you can be notified whenever I drop a new video. I just want to say thank you for everyone coming back and rocking with me. You know, I'm trying to push this channel, I'm trying to grow the channel, and every interaction with you guys, the comments, all of that stuff is brilliant, and I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart for rocking with me. Okay, so today we're going to talk about something that's close to my heart, right? So we're going to talk about 5 albums that changed my life. Now, not only did they change my life as a rapper at the time, but it also changed my life as a producer. So the first one is Super Duper Fly by Missy Misdemeanor Elliott. What can I say about this album, bro? Like, woo! When the rain dropped, there was nothing like it, right? Nothing like it out on the airwaves at all. And I remember, I think I was at my friend's house, and I went to the dining room where we used to spend most of our time, and it was playing on the TV, and I was like, what the heck is this? Everyone talking and everything, and I'm just looking at it like, the visuals are mad. Who is this woman, bruv? Who is this person? I Can't Stand the Rain was just crazy. Then when she dropped Sock It To Me, I believe was the second single, I think it was The Rain, Sock It To Me, and then Beat Me 911. I think those were the 3 singles from the album. Man, my mind was so blown. Like, I had never heard beats like this before. I had never heard raps like this before. I had never seen visuals like this before, outside of obviously Busta Rhymes and, you know, but think about it, at this point in time, so Super Duper Fly got released on the 15th of July in 1997, okay? So people that watched the second album hadn't come out yet. So certain visuals that we became accustomed with Busta Rhymes hadn't even happened yet. So we're looking at Missy Elliott like, what the shit is this, bruh? And if you haven't seen those videos, The Rain, Sock It To Me, Beat Me 911, I suggest you go and check them out, because to this day there ain't been no videos like that.
To this day!
Amazing. That album was just crazy. Like, it was just crazy. Like, it was one of my favorite albums of all time. But for me, this album let the industry know Missy Elliott is here to stay. They let everyone know that Timbaland is like a monster on beats, and some of the features, man. Some of the features on there. We're talking about Aaliyah, we're talking about Genuine, we're talking about The Brat. Oh man, like Lil Kim. Like, some of the features on there was just insane. So I always give that album a huge rating. For me, the album's a whole 10 out of 10. I can just press play, go and sit in the bath, and don't have to worry about skipping. You get me? So yeah, salute to Missy Elliott for Super Duper Fly. Crazy album. And if you don't know about the album, what are you doing with your life? Right, so the second album I'm going to talk about, and again, this is in no particular order of release date, but this album was released in 1997. Again, yeah, you see the pattern here, 11th of November, okay? And this was called, let me tell you the story about this first, right? So I went to America around about this time, I believe, and when I was out there, I heard this song called Up Jumps the Boogie. Now, for me, Up Jumps the Boogie it's not the best song you've ever heard, but there's something about the groove, there's something about the way it was constructed, just the simplicity of it, but the bounces of the verses on top of them, it was just man, I hadn't heard anything like this, and I'm not figuring out. I hadn't pennied who was who properly yet. So when I found out about this album, right? The album's called Welcome to Our World, Timbaland and Magoo. Okay, so I remember coming back to the UK, and I couldn't see this album anywhere. Right, none of the usual outlets, HMV or Virgin Records at the time, I believe. None of these places seem to have the album. And I walked into our spot. Anyone from the south knows, like southeast, you know about this shop, you know about this site, you know about this, right? You go to Morps, yeah, Morps in the black market. Shout out to the black market, it doesn't exist anymore. Gentrified to Ras, but anyway, that's another story. This album appeared in a box out of nowhere, like on God, I don't even think the owner of the shop knew it was in there, innit? But I was the kind of guy that I'll go in there and be on top, looking through every single flipping CD in the shop, fam. I never used to play around. There's to be fair, there's a couple of times I've actually picked up albums in there. I know that Genuine, not The Bachelor. What's his second album called? Christ, 100% Genuine. When I found that album, the guy didn't even know it was in the shop, and he begged me to not buy it so that he could listen to it first. And I was like, nah, I'm sorry. You can quickly listen to it now. I'll hang around. You can skip through it, but I'm not leaving the shop without it. So it happened to me a few times. But anyway, back to the story. So obviously I'm a kid at this time, yeah. I don't really have that money. I must have been 12.
I'm broke, nigga. I'm broke.
And my cousin from New York, she came over, and then when she left me some money, right? When I tell you I took that money, and because she knew I loved the album, innit, and she knew I couldn't afford it, so she left me the money with a note. I can't remember what the note says, but I'm sure it was something to like, go get your album, you know what I'm saying, and enjoy listening to it, something like that. I ran down to Lewisham, bruh. Oh my God. Picked up the album. The album was like £18 something, which at the time was a lot for an album. Albums was going for like £10, £11, £12.99, depending on what it was or where it was. But this album was £18 something. I'll never forget that, because it was just like, why is it so expensive? Now to this day, 20 quid isn't that much money. Do you get what I'm saying? Like 20 quid isn't that much money. Then 20 quid was like, oh my God, how the shit am I getting 20 quid? Like, so when I bought this album, man, I remember running home. I think I ran home with my little Mickey D's. We became introduced to Timbaland style. You know, we became introduced to rappers like Magoo, and I'm a Magoo fan in it. Like, I know there's a lot of people that say, oh, Magoo. Like, for me, you cannot diss Magoo and say that you like some of these rappers nowadays, because Magoo, to me, where we've got with trap music and the typical trap rappers, Magoo, in my opinion, could take his raps from then, put it on a beat now, and be the sickest. And people wouldn't even know. They'd be like, who's this guy? They wouldn't even know. And I would actually like to put it to the test. But anyway, I believe they were all ahead of their time, and I still stand by that. I tell you, I had goosebumps for this album all the way through, man. This album, was just crazy to me. The beats, the syncopation, the percussion, everything was just crazy. And this is when I fell in love with Timbaland as a producer. I was like, this guy's a monster. Between this album and Super Duper Fly, and then obviously I started doing research and education and started realizing that he was around with Jodeci, and he was doing certain things in the background, and he was learning some of his craft from people like Devontae Swing. And if you don't know about Devontae Swing, what you're doing with your life. And then out of this camp, we're getting people like Static. And again, if you know me, you know how I feel about Static. God rest his soul. So yeah, welcome to the world. And then my favorite song at the time, right? Again, if you know me, you know how crazy I was about Knight Rider. Tim took us the sample, the Knight Rider sample, and made a whole beat out of it, bruh. And I just went nuts, absolutely nuts. This is my favorite producer on my favorite album, my favorite sample, which was the Knight Rider theme. Oh man, I was just blown away. The slow jams on that album are serious. Joy, featuring Genuine and Player, crazy. Man on the Cover, I believe it was called, Aaliyah feature. And that's when we kind of realized them as a crew. Missy, Timbaland, Magoo, Aaliyah, Genuine, Player, who am I forgetting? You know, of even people like Jimmy D, the engineer, we started loving him. You know what I'm saying? So that album was crazy, and it changed how I looked at production. It changed how I thought about percussion. It changed how I felt about bounce. It helped me to understand, you know, beats and rhythms that make me do this. You know what I'm saying? Make your shoulders move and shit. Crazy. But again, 1997. So the third album that I'm going to talk about, When Disaster Strikes. Busta motherfucking Rhymes, blood. Now, again, this was released on my birthday, 16th of September. So anybody that wants to bless me, the Cash App is down there because the date's coming up soon. So 16th of September 1997, When Disaster Strikes came out. Now, the special thing about Disaster Strikes, When Disaster Strikes, the beats are stupid. Like, the beats are crazy. Yeah, you've got tunes like Put Your Hands Where My Eyes Can See. You've got tunes like Dangerous. You've got tunes like Rhymes Galore. Shout out to my brethren Peter, that I think that used to be his tune back in the day. And we used to thump the hell out of that. Man, these beats, these songs, and it was good, gritty, proper hip hop. Busta Rhymes was busting some serious raps on there. The Flip Mode Squad, oh man. Fugees, The Score. Ready or Not, Here I Come was like number one for a million years, or what it felt like. That and Killing Me Softly, those two tunes felt like they just destroyed the charts. Fugees' first project was good, was alright. Blunted on Reality, I believe it was called. But it didn't really bang on that level. But the Score was like a whole slap, big Timbaland boot to the face, bro. There's so much culture in that album. So it was like Haitian culture mixed with American culture mixed with just black culture. It was just, oh man, powerful album. Now I'm gonna talk about an album to this day moves me. The education in this album, top notch. The black awareness, the culture in this album, second to none. Wu-Tang Forever. Let's just let that breathe for a second. Wu-Tang Forever album, right? Wu-Tang period is just fire. Their first album, 36 Chambers and stuff. That album was crazy. But this album, double CD, the first CD is like, for me, the less commercial side of things. It's an album where there's a lot of knowledge kicked, there's a lot of 5% of knowledge, there's a lot of black deep teaching. And the thing is that because Wu-Tang, there's 9 members, and honorary member Capadonna, there's different viewpoints, different religion, different whatever from different members. So you know, there was always different aspects of black culture in it, and religion, and teaching us to think for ourselves and see things and to pay attention to the stars and the moon. Man, Wu-Tang was serious, and that was just the knowledge part of it. We're not even like, if we get onto the beats, if we get onto Triumph on the second CD, yeah. To this day, I don't care who you are, where you are, what age you are. If that drops in a party, fam, the party is getting mashed up, fam. Walls are getting punched up, fam. That album, that song, shot Wu-Tang into legendary status. The album was, there is no bad part to that album. I dare anybody to try and point out a bad track, a bad verse, a bad fam. The album is flames, excuse my language. Anyway, I could talk all day about this stuff, but that's just a brief summary of these 5 albums that changed my life, changed the way that I saw things, changed the way that I made beats, changed the way that I rapped, changed the way I felt about music, period. Thank you for watching. Thank you for rocking with me. Make sure you like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe, and just come back next week, because there's going to be more stuff. And as time goes on, I want to get more things fun. There was not much, a lot going on this week in terms of studio, so this is why I did this type of video rather than a more action-packed video. But we'll be back next week, hopefully with podcast and new in the studio videos, and it's just a lot more to come. And I've got new music coming, I've got new music that I'm writing, new music that I'm waiting to come back from the mix. There's a lot going on, so watch this space and make sure you click the bell. Once again, I've been your boy, Mr. Mo, the producer. Thank you. Peace, love, hair grease. I always get that wrong. Love, peace, and hair grease, man. I always say peace, love, hair grease. It don't rhyme. But anyway, love you guys. Peace.